for Johnny? Stand by. Go.
Good evening, and thank you judges for coming. We're Team Golf and we're presenting by Robotics. Meet our team. Before we continue, I'm going to go over the agenda for today. So I will cover what Robex is and the original business process. Johnny will cover business case for change and demo on Twitter and Facebook. And Will Hauser will demo the Twitter and the Salesforce. Followed by Sulaiman Ivy will cover the business problem solved. And lastly, Arslan Salim will cover implementation. So what Robex is, it's a small franchise business that specializes in smoothies. Our sponsor, Gary Comey, owns 2 stores, one in Ashburn and Snurl. So in general, smoothie business brings in over $2 billion every year. So in 492, we discovered 3 business processes: inventory, staffing, and marketing. In 493, we focused on marketing because we found that the expense is higher than the 2 business processes. And also the reason for that is because it is done outsourcing and out-of-pocket money from the business owner for their marketing. With that, I will give it to Johnny Ron, who will present the business case for change.
All right, thank you, Dima. So for the compelling business case, we went ahead and created a chart that basically summarizes the potential increase that Mr. Gary Comey could be obtaining by switching to our solution. So the first thing we have is the outsourcing expense that Dima talked about at $29,000 that could be saved. Next, we have 11% of increased revenue, which we forecast. This is done by the research that we gathered and analyzed, which you can find in the notebook. Lastly, we have the Salesforce expense. This is the only expense that Mr. Gary Comey would have to pay for at $65 a month. The other 2 are free. So the grand total that Mr. Gary Comey would be obtaining by switching to our solution is roughly $105,000. So what we used for our solution was Social CRM. Basically, Social CRM is Social Customer Relationship Management. It's a business strategy supported by a technology platform, in our case, Facebook, Twitter, Salesforce. To continue what it is business rules, workflows, processes, and social characteristics to basically engage the customer in a collaborative conversation. So now that we understand what Social CRM is, let's go ahead and talk about the 3 technology platforms that we utilize. We have Facebook, Twitter, Salesforce. Facebook, we're using the fan page. So anybody that likes the fan page will receive any post that Mr. Gary Comey that he updates, whether it's videos, photos, or just update statuses. Next, we have Twitter. It's the same concept. Anybody that follows Mr. Gary Comey's Twitter page, he can go ahead and reply back and interact with them by subtweeting or microblogging with them. Lastly, we have Salesforce. Salesforce is the main management tool that integrates Twitter and Facebook together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and demo those. So for Facebook and Twitter, we went ahead and configured, implemented designs to make it more appealing and attractive to customers. We went ahead and updated the contact information. And lastly, we ran the test cases to make sure that it did work, which we did. So right here we have the Facebook fan page for Robex. As you see, we updated the picture, the cover page. We have the logos. We updated the contact information. So that's Facebook. For Twitter, same thing. We updated their background photos. You see the left side, we have the photos that we ran test cases with and people that replied back. So that's Facebook and Twitter. Now I'm going to hand it off to Will, who's going to go ahead and demonstrate Salesforce and how everything integrates together.
For our enterprise solution, well, we decided to go with Salesforce, and more specifically the applications inside Salesforce that allow us to integrate with the aforementioned 2 pages for Twitter and Facebook. Salesforce bills itself as a software as a service, which is an on-demand service where it's well located in the cloud, and you can access it through any kind of PC, Mac, mobile device, anything that has a browser can access Salesforce. It's secured by, according to the HTTPS protocol. And what I'm going to do tonight is kind of go through a narrative to show you the average uses for Salesforce. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and say one of the things that Mr. Gary Cohen and I or any of his managers may choose, and it's a 10% discount to any students. This is going to be a core demographic for Smoothie users, focusing on students, and they'll get on their mobile devices and they'll see, oh, there's a sale going on today, better check it out. You can see it updated immediately. This basically bypasses you having to go to the individual websites themselves. It's all done through Salesforce. Next, we're going to have a test case. If we open up the other tab, this is an example of someone who liked smoothies and Robex, and they posted about it. If we open up here, normally we have a search every 5 to 10 minutes, and what Salesforce will do is take any information it finds through any of the social networks, Facebook, Twitter, and it analyzes keywords like Robex, smoothies, the specific names of our 2 websites. And as you can see here, actual live people are talking about Robex right now. Now we're going to focus on the test case that we just did. One of our test accounts, Robert Forte, he said that he loves Robex so much. Awesome. Now, from this screen, you can reply to this individual. You can add them to campaigns and leads. But for right now, we're just going to take their positive comment and show our appreciation by giving them a coupon. Now if we do this, we check back on the screen that the user would have, refresh that, they will see a response. We'll give them a coupon here. Another thing that we're going to present is an individual who went to the sale that we originally did in our first post. Back here, we're going to add this previous individual as a lead for any future use. We already know that they like Robex enough to tweet about it, but maybe it'll be useful in the future. The next individual we have is going to talk about that they went to the sale. They got one of the mango smoothies that were on discount there. And back on Salesforce again, here's normally it does the 5 to 10 minutes, it will refresh itself, but now here we have to manually refresh it here so we don't have to wait the 5 minutes. From here you can see any of the users' data. From here you can see, it'll pull anyone's names, first name, last name, any pictures they have, any information that's relevant in the social media sphere. It'll try and pull up and target that individual the best way it can. Now we're going to reply to this person. And part of our initial testing with that first blog post saying that there was going to be a sale on any mango tricks for students, was trying to target the core demographic for our new flavor smoothie that's coming out. We've now informed this person of our new mango sunrise drink that we're coming out with, and we're going to invite them to our campaign here. Through this campaign screen through Salesforce, we're able to manage people inside who we can consider possibly the leads that we mentioned earlier. Any way we can get someone who's going to be interested in this campaign that's relevant to our marketing team, we can add them here. Look at the campaigns here. And open up Mango Paradise. We can see that we've now added our Bobby Marley to the campaign. From here you can send out mass emails, you can contact anyone on here. Basically this stands as a platform for you to be able to interact with targeted customers. Basically over here is going to summarize what I kind of just went through. And basically here's the postings from Twitter and Facebook that are relevant to what we wanted to find out. It extrapolates the key terms, Mahalo Mango, Grobex, anything like that, goes through the rules, conditions, finds out if they're talking about us, and then we can find out what to do with that information. That's kind of a repeat of what we've already done. Now to speak up next about the alternative solutions we've gone over, Mr. Soliagubi.
Thanks, Will. All right, as we've just seen, we've seen Twitter, seen Facebook, and Salesforce. We did evaluate other solutions, Batchbook, Insightly, Nimble, and they all seem to have similar functionality. However, the one thing they didn't have was the capacity to disseminate to like 10 to 15 to possibly 20,000 people. And that's utilizing Salesforce Cloud. I mean, it's just phenomenal in its strength and its ability to disseminate that kind of volume. Let's remind ourselves here that Gary is very community oriented. He's connected to all the high schools, to all the fitness clubs. He's got, NFL players that are coming in after practice, right? Skins are practicing out, Sterling and Ashburn, they're coming in. And he's keeping all his customers involved in all of this. So what did we change? Well, we changed a lot, okay? Let's also remind ourselves here that originally, this was an outsourced process where somebody was actually going out and knocking on doors, shaking hands, handing out cards, which is all great. However, this is an out-of-pocket expense that we are now pulling back in at a much lower cost. And he is maintaining all of his contacts digitally and updating them. So once again, we're changing it from an outsourced process and turning this digitally into a lead and then into a campaign for new product releases. Some of the challenges were resources. Gary himself, our sponsor, works full-time during the day. It was hard to find time to train him. He has one store manager for 2 stores. Some of the other challenges were culture challenges, being adapting to the changes and rules that need to be operated within Salesforce, and the residual risk was is how to basically implement a marketing plan and strategy that would be effective. Okay, so the solution implemented. I'm going to hand this over to Arsen.
Thank you, Sully. So before we present our final solution to our sponsor, we wanted to make sure that it works and it does what it's supposed to do. So in order to do that, we did comprehensive testing in a lab environment using various platforms of mobile devices, laptops, PCs, which were running different operating systems. We wanted to make sure that our solution works in any given platform, because we don't know what our sponsor might be using in the near future. So we ran test cases, and each one of those test cases had a checklist that our solution had to pass through before it was ready for implementation. So once we completed all the tests, we took our solution to our sponsor site, where our sponsor, Mr. Gary Comey, did the user acceptance testing. We also did train-the-trainer methodology. That's the way we trained Mr. Gary Comey. So in the near future, let's say if he gets a new employee, we can train him, so he can train that person to do the marketing for him. We also provided training manuals, user guides. Those are in the notebook, you can take a look. We also did a maintenance plan for Salesforce. We believe that our solution, which is social CRM, is a sustainable business strategy. In a way, our customers give us feedback on our new smoothie drinks. The way one customer showed interest in mango flavor, and we came up with a new mango smoothie, and we added them to a campaign. For operations, the only thing that Mr. Gary Comey has to maintain is monthly subscription of Salesforce, which is $65 a month. And Facebook and Twitter, he doesn't have to pay anything. The only thing he has to maintain is keep the page current and updated. Next. Business problem solved. Well, before we implemented our solution, marketing services was outsourced to a vendor.